Is obesity the result of eating too much or doing too little? Well, the slightly facetious answer here is yes, it is the result of eating too much and doing too little. And this is because you cannot evaluate either side of that energy balance equation without reference to the other. Whether you're eating too much for what? Your requirements. And are you doing too little for what? The energy that's available to you. So for me, that does come back to recognizing we need to look at both sides of the energy balance equation. I think the drive to ask that question comes from a place where we're thinking, if we can understand the cause of the problem, that helps us solve the problem. So if we look back historically for the obesity epidemic and say what correlates with that growth, we can say, well, intuitively we're doing less, we've probably engineered some activity out of our lives. Whether eating more is a big question, because dietary analysis tools are not great now and were poorer in the past. And then we have to consider that we've become bigger, larger beings. We have bigger skulls, bigger organs, so even if we're eating slightly more, that might actually be necessary and still not too much. But if we are looking from that perspective of let's identify the problem to solve it, the analogy that Ben Goldacre, I think, uses in some of his books is that maybe taking painkiller tablets are a great solution to a headache, but the headache wasn't a deficiency of painkillers in the system. So on the one hand, we might say even if one side of the equation is to blame, we might still use the other side as the solution or part of the solution. But also when we recognize how those two sides of the equation are inherently linked, we have to say you're never going to succeed in a weight loss strategy unless you're going to target one side of the equation and at least control the other side. But you'll get the most bang for your buck if you actually target both in the first place.